Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to my channel that is Odoo for beginners. In this session we are going to discuss on accounting, that what will be the accounting entries, what will be the impact on accounting if we are accepting advance payment through POS. I have already prepared one video on that, but in this session we will check that what will be the impact on accounting. So without wasting the time, let's jump to the database. Here most important thing is that the configuration of that advance payment product, that is the down payment for POS. So if this is currently Odoo 17, if I will be open that product which is my down payment, okay, so let me click on that product which is down payment. Okay, down payment POS is there. So here you can see that we can set the product category. In the product category we have that account which is the current liabilities, because we are accepting that payment as advance, so of course it will be a current liability. Now what happens, go to the step by steps, that we are in the sales order. If we want to accept, then we have to create from here. I am considering that my customer, my product is let's favorite acoustic block screen, we are going to consider that too. Okay, so removing the taxes for more simplifications and save. The sale order number is 100. Now what we are going to do, if we want to accept, then we have to go to the POS. Point of sale is there. I am going to continue these sessions. Continue session will be there. Now here that, let me open that quotation which is my 100. Okay. Now here you can see that apply the down payment. We are going with that 590 is there. Okay, and 0 and confirming that. Okay, now just we are going to do the payment, and here you can see that cash is there. Now in the cash we are getting the options for invoices. Okay, let's consider I am not going to create the invoice. So if I am not going to create the invoice for this payment, does Odoo will create those entry automatically when session will be closed? Yes, of course. So let's check on that. I am just going to do that, validate. And now let me just close these sessions, as we are creating the invoice from the sales backend. So now here it's a 885 is there. Okay, because something payment 295 payment was previously, and I'm just making this close sessions. Now let's look into that entries. Now let's go to that POS. Then we will create the invoice when actual delivery was there. Okay, so now okay, fine, my order sessions are there. In the sessions, this sessions 11 session is there, and here you can see that the payment 590 payment is there, and this is my closing entry for 009. And if I will click on that journal items, here you can see these entries are there. Here the payment is from cash, so here you can see that the cash is debited with that 590, and here account receivable POS is debited. Now this is very important. Now here you can see that we haven't created the invoice for that down payment. Okay, still you can see that my current liability with 590 is credited. This is very important. Please make a note that my current liabilities is credited with 590 when we are closing these sessions. Okay, now this step is clear. Now let me go to the sales, as I am doing the delivery from my backend, which is my sales order number 100. This is my that. Okay, now what happens, I am just, this delivery is there, we are doing the delivery. Let me make it as delivery. Now just we are going to validate. Okay, based on that another delivery will be created, will be there ready, and we are just going to make it as a validate. Now this is the 100% advance payment. So if I am going to create the invoice, that settlement will be here. Now this is, now that current liability which was credited when the session was closed will be debited over here, then the knockoff will be there. So if I will click on that, and here you can see that current liability with debited with 590. Here our income is booked, because now actually we have made that delivery, so income will book with the 590, and that's all. And just we are going to confirm that. So this is this thing, that when we are accepting the payment advance, case number 1, that my advance payment through POS, we are closing the session, we are not creating the invoice, and then after the delivery we are creating the invoice from the sales backend. This is my first use case. Now let's go to the next case. Okay, now next case is that again I'm just going to create one more. My customer is that customer A. Again my product, let me use that another cabinet with doors, otherwise let's pick the same products because we have two others cabinet with door with that. Now here you can see that we are that 140 unit, and we are just going to confirm that. We can make it as a save or confirm also. And here you can see that the 102 sales order number is created. Now I go to the POS, shop is there. Now what happens, let me go to the site, let me accept that advance payment. Now in this case we are doing the delivery from the POS only. Okay, so now here opening cash is 885. Now here customer 102 is there, down payment of 140 is there. We are just going to confirm, and this is payment, cash is there, and now along with that I am just putting that invoice and just going to validate that. Now thing is here, now what happens over here, now here we are not going to do the delivery from sales backend, we are going to do the delivery over here. So delivery will be by the POS, so invoice of course will be handled by the backend also. So now new order will be there, again quotation order 102, settle the order of course, and here you can see that, and do the payment. We have to make some otherwise let's make it the cash, and now it's, let me make it as an invoice also. This is a finance, and we are going to validate that. Now here let's close the sessions. I'm just making the close. Here it's 1025 is there, closing the sessions. Now let's check the closing entry for that sessions. Okay, now here sessions is here, my session is this one. Now this is my closing entry, but here you can see that picking is there. So here just if the products are available, we can make those products available and we can put it forward it to my customer. Let me make it those delivery and validate. Okay, now let me just apply that number as it requires, assign serial number and validate, and done. Now let's check the account, that is very important. Okay, so if we click on the journal items, here you can see that all entries are created. Okay, that here you can see that first of all my cash, and let me just fill out all the entries. Okay, so now here you can see that as we have made the entries by the POS only, still it will be remain same. As you can see that here when we have created the invoice, current liabilities credited with 140. In previous session, as we haven't created the invoice, still at the closing session Odoo will create those entry automatically. And now if you can see that this is the invoice that we have created when we have settled that order. Here you can see that my current liability is debited, my income is credited with 140, and then your account receivable is knock off with each other as the customer has made the payment. So this is simple, that if you are doing the delivery from the backend with the sales and then you are going to create the invoice, the entries will be remain the same as you are doing with backend with POS only. Doesn't matter that you are creating that invoice for the down payment, but thing is that the create the invoice after the delivery is important. Okay, so this is the just simple use case that I have prepared. You can do from your side and let us know if you have any queries.